Hello. Welcome to the Fit and Free Show with me. I'm ZGALA the Art Angel. You can call me Auntie Angel if you like. I'm silly as usual. I'm in the office. It's daytime. Doesn't always happen these days. It's FunFast Friday, and I had high hopes of being up on the mountains. She had high hopes. I don't know where that key came from, but as it turns out, woke up with a little bit of cloggedness in the sinuses and decided maybe I'm turning into a responsible adult in my 50s. I don't know. That might be stretching it. But in any case, speaking of stretching, see what I did there? Let's do a little of that. Let's start off with a little free arm swinging. Try not to knock over the world behind the green screen. And remind you, there's not one way to check in with your body. This isn't about perfection or competition or doing everything that I do. It's really about just hopefully encouraging you to check in with your body too. I've been into a lot of, I've been like working on my freestyle dance moves a little bit. And also into some sound healing, vagus nerve toning, some cool stuff like that. So you might see me start to throw more of that into my freestyle routine as I like to call it stretching and strengthening, although I think I might be shifting to calling it strengthening and lengthening. But really it's about staying strong and flexible, fit and free, all of that. Doesn't really matter what you call it. You know what it is. It's feeling good. It's moving your body. It's being able to move your body and feel good while you do it. That's really the whole main objective, purpose. Your body's the one thing you can't live without. So it's important to check in with it regularly, develop a healthy relationship. What I'm doing right now, these hip dips from the straddle position, that's just where my body led me, following my own lead as I encourage you to follow yours. And if you're doing these hip dips, make sure you really listen to your own body. Don't do anything that feels like it's too much, especially if it's new to you and you haven't explored where your parameters are. Make sure you remember that it's fine to start wherever you are is perfect, and do what you can from where you are with what you got. I'm using both some touch because that feels good. I got a little bit of stiffness in there and some combined with some movement. Getting in that hip joint a little bit. Checking in with the glutes in the back a little bit. Checking in with the hip socket a little bit. And I'm going to bring the feet closer together, not all the way together, but closer to like hip width apart. And bend the knees. And then I'm going to do what I call hip slides. So keeping my hands on the hips just so you can see that now I'm no longer tilting them, but instead trying to keep them relatively parallel to the floor by keeping the knees bent. And again, start where you are. Do what you can with what you got. See what feels good. I like to just run through a variety of these hip exercises, and they also tend to stretch and strengthen the abdomen a little bit and the low back sometimes, the legs a little bit. So I'm right now pulling a little bit more so that I'm feeling that in the obliques, abdominals, crossways abdominals. If I stay here like I'm doing now, I start to feel a little burn in this leg. And let's pull that over to the other side. That burn tells me that I'm not distributing my weight evenly. I'm really pulled my weight almost entirely over to the side. And nothing wrong with that. I'm just noticing, and I encourage you to just notice what's in your body. Try not to, it's not about judging it, it's just about noticing. And sometimes you'll notice the two sides are the same, and sometimes you'll notice they're different. I often can feel a sensation on one side that I can't feel on the other, or do something on one side easily that I can't do on the other. And I try to do the same thing on both sides always, to keep it even Stevens, and to encourage and support the body's endeavors to maintain homeostasis and balance, because that's really where we operate best from. So again, now I'm just speeding that up a little bit, doing a little more back and forth swaying, kind of playing around with shifting my weight or not shifting my weight. When I don't shift my weight, if I try to keep my weight evenly distributed and pull the hips over, that really shifts the work over into the low back and into the abdomen. Let me do that on the other side again. It kind of takes concentration to keep my weight on both feet instead of leaning over and then pulling the hips over, and that pulls the work more into the abdomen. Whereas if I shift my weight, and you can probably see that I'm now not quite leaning over, but I've just shifted my weight where I could actually even pull that foot off, and I'm just keeping it on the ground for balance. And I start to feel the burn in that leg now, and the work is more in the legs and less up here in the torso. So just noticing that, and then if I come into this wider stance and I do this dipping, then that brings the stretch a lot into the inner thighs and into the hip socket itself. And then one more that we didn't do yet that I like to do a lot of times is bringing the feet closer together, bending the knees, and then pushing into that hip socket. Now do be careful if you haven't been doing this. You don't want to pop that socket out of joint, but I like to both massage it and sort of push into from back to front and front to back, just to explore that range of motion, mostly because it feels really good in that hip socket. And sometimes adding a little touch, a little massage in there feels really good. So I'm going to bring those together and do it on the other side again, just pushing into that kind of trepidatiously or carefully at first, to be paying attention to how, where that hip is. Sometimes it's stiffer than other times, and if it's really stiff, you do want to be careful. Again, you can hurt yourself if you're trying to push that hip area out past its comfort zone. And at the same time, you can reduce your tendency to hurt yourself in life if you keep it limber and flexible and mobile. So that's why I include it in my routine. But in that same vein, let's do a little bit of balancing, because that is similarly something I like to include in my routine that I think maybe goes underappreciated. I'm going to turn this way and bringing my weight onto the left, and then bringing this right knee, or actually I said that backwards, not that it really matters. It's my left knee up toward the shoulder, and I'm going to bend that supporting leg and relax that foot. And right now I'm just sort of just doing it however it happens, but I'm going to start to pull the body into alignment if I can. It's difficult sometimes to keep my balance and turn my head that way. So I'm going to face forward while I focus on the alignment a little bit, and again, not locking that supporting knee, relaxing that supporting foot, and then drawing the shoulders down and back to draw the knee up closer to the body, maybe a little higher. I'm going to do a little bit of ankle rotation while I'm up here. And of course, if this is too much, you could try it laying down, and or You could try it with some support of one side and just use, one hand to support. I kind of use the tension between my hands and foot to create some stretch and some work, some lengthening and some strengthening, and that balance work that's going on the supporting side is important. Just going to play around a little bit with this because I haven't been doing it in a while, and then I'm going to stomp that out because I'm really feeling the burn in those supporting stabilizers over on the calf of the supporting side. I'm going to turn around and do the other side, bringing weight onto the left and trying to relax that supporting foot as I bring that knee up towards the shoulders. And at first I like to just hang out, kind of stretching, pulling the shoulders out of the arms out of the shoulder socket just a little bit, getting a nice stretch through the shoulders. And then I'm going to draw the shoulders back, pulling the shoulder blades together in the back, the rhomboids together, maybe tucking the elbows in and pulling this knee up and closer to the body. I just tried to relax my supporting foot and found I was all torqued over and fell over there. That happens. Again, it's not to criticize ourselves, but rather just to notice. So I'm going to come back into that position, roll the shoulders back, relax that supporting foot, try to relax the knee of that supporting leg, and then do a little bit of ankle rotation on that side. Got some stiffness in there. I injured this ankle long ago, so it's one of those things over time that tends to remind me that maybe I didn't heal. I mean, I healed it up pretty well, but perhaps it could have been better, could have been worse. That's true of most things. I'm going to come into again about a shoulder width apart, bend the knees, and now just do a little bit of side stretching, really stretching that whole side. And you can play with, again, shifting the weight, pushing into that hip, or keeping the weight balanced and really bringing the stretch more up into the torso. Coming back over, let's go over to the other side, and then again, alternate pushing the weight over, so you're making a big, like, half moon stretch with the whole body, or bringing it so the lower body is upright and then just the upper body is curving off of the upper body. Just two different stretches, really similar but different, and I like to explore those kinds of differences. Another variety of that, while I'm on the subject, would be to keeping the lower body upright. Actually, you could do it in both, but I'm going to start with the upright, stretching from the center, and then alternating, looking up into that elbow or looking forward. That really changes the stretch, the dynamics of the stretch through the torso there, through the neck. And then maybe let's try shifting the weight into that half moon. And again, alternating, looking up toward the elbow, looking forward, coming back to center. Let's do that on the other side. To keep it even, Stevens, bending from that more straight center position, and then looking up into the elbow and forward and up, and just noticing the difference in the dynamics of that stretch and forward. And then I'm going to push the weight over so I make more of a half moon curve, and then again looking up into the elbow. I'm finding something about that more challenging on this side. I got some stuff going on, as bodies usually do. I'm going to just free arms, swing that out a little bit, shake it off. It's a good mechanism for any kind of stagnation or build-up, or like if you're just uncertain, you'll see kids and animals do it instinctively. If you bang yourself or you fall down or you get hurt in some way, shaking it off and rubbing or, even tapping, kind of just moving, helping to move that energy out really does help. There's a reason that animals and kids do that naturally, because it really does work. So your body knows how to heal if you just get out of the way with all that thinking and get into the somatic, which is the feeling, the sensory, the movement of it. So there's my unsolicited advice for today. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks if you like and subscribe. It does help me out a lot, and I appreciate it if you do. Thanks for being you and for letting me be me and being out there, being a human being with me. I think it's a pretty great time to be alive. I know there's a lot of struggling going on. Writing a book about it called The Shift. Look, I'm working on my cover art. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I'm excited about it. I will be doing some more with it, and then some, digitization. Lots more work to do, but it's been exciting to get into the nonverbal, symbolic side of The Shift, which is my upcoming book. So if you're interested in being a beta reader or purchasing it in the pre-sale here very soon, check out the description for links. Check out my website. That's where you should be able to sign up on my email list. And I'm going to be hosting some in-person and online creativity workshops that I'm pretty excited about. So if you're interested in any of that, check it out as well. Got lots of stuff to check out, so check it out. Stay fit, stay free. Don't forget to smile and breathe, and I'll be seeing you soon. Ciao for now.